Have you ever wondered what it would be like if two nations were on the brink of an intense conflict? That's the situation we find ourselves in today, as President Biden recently made a chilling statement. But before we dive into this riveting narrative, we'd like to invite you to join our channel, World Stories. Press the subscribe button, activate the bell for notifications, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our video. Your support helps us keep bringing you these compelling stories from around the world. Now let's get back to the story. President Biden expects Iran to launch an attack on Israel sooner than later. This profound declaration was made during a White House press conference, where the president fielded questions from reporters with a sobering seriousness. It's not every day that a world leader anticipates such a dire event. The reporters were understandably eager for insight, but Biden was cautious. He didn't want to delve into secure information, but his expectation was clear. Iran's attack on Israel, to him, is imminent. With tensions mounting, the international community waits with bated breath. As we watch the events unfold, we can only hope that peace prevails, and a conflict that could reshape the region and indeed the world is averted. Thank you for being with us on this, and remember to engage with us in the comments section below. Share your thoughts and stay tuned to World Stories for more insightful narratives from across the globe. Imagine observing a chessboard where each move signals a possible confrontation. The hand behind the pieces belongs to Iran, and they are making some intriguing maneuvers. The US has been observing Iran's unsettling movements, the shifting of military assets within its own territory. It's like watching a player position their queen for a strategic strike. In this case, the queen is represented by drones and cruise missiles. And it's not just one or two pawns being moved to the front line. The US intelligence suggests that Iran is preparing as many as 100 cruise missiles. It's akin to having an arsenal of rooks ready to storm the opponent's defenses. But where is this attack aimed? The potential targets are inside Israel. The chessboard in this case expands beyond the borders of Iran and into the heart of Israel. It's a move that could change the dynamics of the game, forcing the opponent to rethink their strategy. But the chess game doesn't stop there. Iranian proxies could also be involved in carrying out the attacks. Imagine a chess match where the player has the ability to control pieces from another game. That's the complexity we're dealing with. Yet in this high-stakes game of geopolitical chess, the biggest question remains: who will make the first move? Is Iran preparing to strike from its soil as part of an initial attack? Or is it merely a strategic positioning, a tactic to deter Israel or the US from making a counterstrike? The game is set, but who will make the first move? Ever thought about how a regional conflict can spiral into a global crisis? Let's delve into the potential implications of a state-on-state conflict between Iran and Israel, which could mark a serious escalation in the region. The US has been doing its best to avoid such a situation, but the threat looms ever larger. This conflict, if it breaks out, wouldn't just affect the involved parties, it would send ripples of uncertainty and fear across the globe. Countries far removed from the epicenter would feel the tremors, as evidenced by the new travel guidelines issued for government employees in Israel by the US, Britain, and France. This is a clear indication of the international community's apprehension about the situation. Such a conflict could also destabilize the region, opening the door for other groups and nations to exploit the chaos. It could potentially lead to a shift in alliances, causing a domino effect that could reshape the geopolitical landscape. It could also have profound humanitarian implications, with civilians caught in the crossfire, further exacerbating the already tense situation. The economic implications are another factor. The Middle East is a crucial hub for the global oil industry, and a conflict could disrupt this, leading to a spike in oil prices worldwide. This would in turn affect everything from the cost of travel to the price of goods and services. Moreover, the psychological impact cannot be underestimated. The fear and uncertainty generated by such a conflict could lead to a global rise in anxiety, affecting everything from stock markets to individual mental health. In a world that's more interconnected than ever, no conflict is isolated, no ripple contained within its own pond. A regional conflict in this case could quickly escalate into a global concern. As we face this looming threat, the world watches closely, hoping for de-escalation and peace, but preparing for the potential of a larger crisis. A regional conflict could become a global concern. The world watches closely. What does readiness look like in the face of a looming threat? Well, it involves a robust defense strategy, one that the United States has been meticulously crafting. The US has made its commitment clear. It will intercept any weapons launched at Israel if it is feasible to do so. This isn't a new commitment, it's a pledge that has been upheld multiple times in the past, a testament to the US's unwavering support for Israel's security. The US Navy forces in the Red Sea play a significant role in this strategy. They've previously intercepted long-range missiles launched from the Houthis in Yemen towards Israel. This showcases not just their preparedness, but also their capability to respond to threats effectively. However, the defense strategy isn't solely reliant on the Navy forces in the Red Sea. The US forces stationed in Iraq and Syria could also potentially intercept drones and rockets targeting northern Israel, depending on the location from which they're launched. This multi-pronged defense strategy ensures a wide net of protection, covering various potential points of attack, but it doesn't stop there. The United States isn't just reacting to threats, it's proactively bolstering its defenses. The Defense Department is moving additional assets to the Middle East region. This move aims to bolster regional deterrence efforts and increase force protection for U.S. forces. It's a clear message to potential aggressors. The U.S. is ready and will defend its allies. The Pentagon has been particularly focused on bolstering air defenses, an integral part of any modern defense strategy. In today's world, threats aren't just on the ground, they're in the air, and they can come from miles away. A strong air defense is a deterrent in itself, a clear message to any potential aggressor that any attack will be met with a formidable response. Preparedness is key. The U.S. stands ready. What does this all mean for the global community? As analyzed in the prior sections, the circumstance is undeniably severe. The possibility of Iran initiating an assault on Israel seems authentic, plausible, and immediate. The United States, guided by President Biden, has noted disconcerting activities within Iran, including the domestic transfer of military resources such as unmanned drones and cruise missiles. This suggests a potential groundwork for an attack on Israeli objectives, possibly originating from Iranian soil. The gravity of this situation is by the US's dedication to Israel's safety. Biden has unequivocally stated that the US is resolute in its defense of Israel, and that any attack by Iran will be thwarted. The collaboration between the US and Israeli defense forces is at an unprecedented level, with the US ready to intercept any weaponry directed at Israel if it's achievable. However, this threat is not confined within the perimeters of these two countries. The potential commencement of a direct conflict between Iran and Israel signifies a critical escalation in an area already volatile with strain. Concerns are mounting over a broader regional conflict, with ramifications that could reverberate globally. The US, in conjunction with other nations, is on maximum alert, issuing updated travel advisories for government personnel in Israel. However, in the face of this looming danger, strategic defense has been deployed. The US is dispatching more resources to the Middle Eastern region to reinforce local deterrence initiatives and enhance force protection. The Department of Defense is specifically improving air defenses, demonstrating preparedness to react if the situation intensifies. In these times of uncertainty, only one fact remains. The world, in bated breath, looks forward to seeing the next developments. Let's delve deeper into the global reaction. Following the intense developments we've just outlined, how is the world reacting to this imminent threat? The United Nations has promptly addressed the situation, expressing deep concern over the escalating tensions between Iran and Israel. The UN Secretary General has urged both nations to exercise maximum restraint and to engage in dialogue, emphasizing that the potential for a catastrophic conflict is a grave concern to the international community. Meanwhile, the European Union has also voiced its worries, echoing the call for restraint and diplomatic engagement. EU leaders have made it clear that the region cannot afford another war, and they are urging all parties to avoid actions that could lead to further escalation. The EU has also mobilized its diplomatic channels, seeking to mediate and facilitate peaceful dialogue between the conflicting parties. Across the Middle East, reactions vary. Some countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have expressed support for Israel, reflecting the shifting dynamics in the region. Others like Lebanon and Syria are more aligned with Iran and could potentially play a role in the conflict. There is a general consensus, however, that an escalation to full-scale war would have disastrous consequences for the entire region. In conclusion, the world is on edge, closely watching the developments between Iran and Israel. The hope for a peaceful resolution remains, but the situation is fluid and uncertain. As the international community continues to respond and react, we will keep you updated on the unfolding events. Having examined the international response in our previous section, let's now delve into the possible economic repercussions of such a conflict. The potential for escalating conflict between Iran and Israel raises significant economic concerns, and not just for the two nations involved. The first major concern lies in the global oil prices and energy markets. Iran is one of the world's largest oil producers, and any disruption to its oil production could cause a spike in global oil prices, impacting economies worldwide. In turn, this would lead to increased energy costs, affecting everything from transportation to the cost of goods and services. Secondly, the economic strain on Iran and Israel could have ripple effects on the global economy. Both nations are deeply integrated into the world economy, and a protracted conflict could lead to significant economic downturns in both countries, with potential to affect their trading partners and the global markets at large. Lastly, there's the potential for economic sanctions. Should the conflict escalate, the international community could impose sanctions on either or both nations. Such sanctions would further impact the economies of Iran and Israel, potentially leading to shortages of essential goods, currency devaluation, and increased inflation. In conclusion, the economic stakes of this conflict are high, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. As we continue to monitor the events, it becomes increasingly clear that the potential impacts extend far beyond the immediate geographical area of conflict. In our next section, we will explore the possible paths towards de-escalation and peace. Throughout this analysis, we've examined the geopolitical, economic, and strategic dimensions of the escalating conflict. But what about the people caught in the crossfire? The potential humanitarian crisis that could arise from a conflict between Iran and Israel should not be overlooked. The specter of war raises immediate concerns about the safety and well-being of the civilian population. Displacement, food insecurity, and access to essential services like healthcare and education become pressing issues. The infrastructure damage could be massive, disrupting the lives of millions and triggering a refugee crisis. Moreover, the role of international humanitarian organizations is critical. Their preparedness, ability to respond, and capacity to provide aid are all put to the test in such situations. These organizations, often working in challenging conditions, would be tasked with providing immediate relief and long-term support to the affected populations. Equally important is the psychological impact on the citizens of Iran and Israel. The fear and uncertainty can lead to long-term trauma, especially among children. The mental health implications of such a conflict can reverberate through generations, adding another layer of complexity to the ongoing crisis. In the end, it's the innocent lives at stake that matter the most. As we navigate through the complexities of this conflict, the well-being of the people directly affected should always be at the forefront of our considerations. In our next section, we will explore the possible paths towards de-escalation and peace. Can there be a resolution that not only addresses the political and economic concerns but also safeguards the lives and futures of the people involved? Phew, that was a heavy dose of real-world drama, wasn't it? But don't click away just yet, because we've got something more for you. Welcome to the World Stories channel, your one-stop shop for everything from global events and historical happenings to media buzz and discussion-worthy topics. We've even got you covered on lost cities, hidden treasures, legends, haunted palaces, supernatural phenomena, and yes, even alien creatures. Now, if you've made it this far, why not go a step further? Hit that subscribe button and activate notifications to stay updated. Go ahead, give us a thumbs up if you found this video informative, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments section. Oh, and by the way, sharing our videos with your friends doesn't just spread knowledge, it also helps keep those pesky aliens at bay. We're pretty sure they hate being the topic of our videos. So, what are you waiting for? Join our growing community and be a part of the conversation. Every click, every like, every share supports our mission to uncover more world stories, one video at a time. Thank you for sticking with us till the end of this intense journey. Until next time, remember, the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. So, let's keep exploring one video at a time.